guys. Welcome to a special episode of Haunt Talk. We are in a hotel. we went, if you're watching this currently, it is a summer month. We went to Carnage. It's in Columbus, Ohio. We are currently staying in Cincinnati because we are going to be doing Kings Island tomorrow, and we did some other stuff, so make sure you look at the channel for a video of the Sign Museum and...
Loveland Castle.
The castle. We went to Loveland Castle, or Chateau Blagovet.
Chateau Le Rouge?
Yeah, that's
Roche?
its other
I
name.
don't know.
And we were like, we're going to film this now. We just got back from the haunt here, and we figured it'd be better to film it now than like wait till we get to the studio and all that stuff, because we have time to do it now, so we're going to do it now. So Carnage, we've been there before, and I think we have a review on the channel for it.
Yes.
But they've moved locations.
Mm-hmm. They're in a bowling alley.
They are in an old it's not a current, it used to be a bowling alley. Yeah, it's not a bowling alley any longer.
Maybe.
But, no, it's not a bowling alley. I don't know where they bowl. I don't think there'd be much room for them.
Be fun.
Right. But they moved there, and this was kind of like almost a preview event.
Yeah.
Because apparently there's going to be another section opened up for the actual Halloween season, so we hope to be able to make it back for that.
Yes.
As well, so hopefully we can do that. Because there's a lot of places in Columbus that we want to go to now. We would like to hit the Haunted Hoochie Gang, so it's been a couple years. The Columbus Zoo is actually doing a haunted event this time, Zombiesi Bay, so it's going to be like in the water park section.
Yeah.
And then Carnage was another one, and then there was the 13th floor, and then Fear Columbus, that's what they call it.
Oh yes, Fear Columbus is the other one, yeah.
So, yeah, there's 4 that we want to do that are all in like a general vicinity. So if you're in Columbus and you like haunts, you're in luck this season, because you have like 4 great ones like really close to you. But that being said, we'll go ahead and get into the review. Now, again, this is more of a like preview event, so we kind of took that into consideration. Mm-hmm. But overall, we were happy with it. But we'll go ahead and start talking about what we always talk about first. I just kind of have the notes on my phone here. I'll set them up like this on the phone so we can kind of both see. Which is the sets and props.
Yep. So the first haunt was all New Orleans and voodoo themed.
Nolans.
And so they, of course, told us like a story and tried to set it up and everything. And everything was pretty much, like you felt like you were in like the swamps of New Orleans and Louisiana and stuff like that.
It was pretty cool when you walk in there. Like they had like a kind of almost like pre-show scene of a lady with a live snake. She was talking, and they had like a cool thing with like the light switched to black lights, revealed all kinds of like voodoo symbols and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there was like a creepy skeleton that was telling you a story about the voodoo priestess that's in the area and stuff.
He was actually like animated. Well, like not animated, but you know.
Yeah, it was
like
basically like a skeleton and then his spine, and like he was moving around like this, and he was like talking and stuff like that. It was really neat. Actually, a really cool prop.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then after that, it led into like what was kind of like a bayou. I think the first thing that she entered us into was like a laser swamp.
Yeah, we went into the swamp. And
like trees and stuff in there.
Yeah, and of course there was, somebody in there hiding in a ghillie suit, like you do.
It's one of the most effective things.
It is.
It is. A lot of haunts have it now, but it is very effective. And then you went up on like a boardwalk type of situation. Yeah,
I'm assuming that like in the bayou they must have these boardwalks everywhere. So you can walk up on top of everything. Because I see it a lot in different haunted houses and stuff like that.
Well, it's like swamps. Yeah, they have it,
So you, like, walk up on this boardwalk and stuff, and there were alligators and other little creatures and monsters and things like that that came out at you.
And it was really cool. It actually, like, kind of was stormy in there. They had, like, a light and, like, it must be, like, a big bass, like, a really heavy bass speaker, because, like, it boomed, and the actual thunder startled me a little bit.
Yeah, there was, like, a big lightning. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then there was a couple more sections that were, like, swamp themed. I remember there's like a boat dock we were at, and there was actually a guy I know that, like, was under the boat that kind of
Yeah, he was underneath this boat that was just kind of, like, kind of docked, and there was like a vulture on top of it and all this stuff, and he kind of came out from underneath there and scared me.
And they were like waterworks and stuff. I had that in my notes. So there's waterworks, which I always like that when they have like running water and like water effects, and they had a fair amount of that. We were like walking over the little boardwalk section. But most of it was to the New Orleans theme. There's some that kind of like felt like it deviated, but I think they're kind of take it as like you were saying. It's kind of like you were in a house.
Yeah, like
there.
At one point you go into somebody's house that's living in the bayou and the swamp and stuff like that.
And it kind of lets them break that theme.
Yeah, because like we went in and there was, like a really obese man in a bed. And,
right. Well, it was just a prop, not an actual.
Yeah, no, it was that. You see it in quite a few other ones. I know.
And I've seen a couple other haunts with it, yeah.
What was it? Didn't Ghoul Brothers had it hanging from the ceiling and it moved?
I think that is that prop, yeah.
Yeah, it was the big fat guy, yeah. I remember seeing it at a few other places. I think Scare House had one too.
They might have. But either way, yeah, it's a pretty cool prop though.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah, that's right.
And then after that, I think there's the doll room.
There was doll room.
The doll room is really cool. So I would love to take pictures in that room, like go in there and take pictures, because they have like little doll houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we talked about that when we reviewed this place. There's just people out in the hallway doing hotel stuff. But I think we talked about that when we reviewed it the first time, because like how intricate the doll room in particular was. There's just like so many dolls, but there's also like a whole bunch of other like little cool stuff too. And then of course you have like the animatronic dolls, and then like real doll like blending in, that kind of thing though. But yeah, so that was cool. And then the place overall had really good lighting. Everything was lit immaculately. Very atmospheric. Had lots of smells. Like every scene had accompaniment smell.
Oh my gosh, we walked into one place and it just smelled like fall.
It really did. Yes, wonderful. It smelled like pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
But like the swamp and the forest had like foresty smells. Not really too nasty ones that I noticed. There wasn't anyone that maybe like want to die.
Well, the cemetery kind of smelled kind of musty.
Yeah, but not bad though.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting the fat man scene to smell like poop or something terrible.
Ew.
Like just BO. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's a scent that they have, because sometimes you need to go into your
is.
restroom scene, or, and it smells
basically
like shit.
anything you can think of, they have as a scent.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But probably one of the, because there's quite a few scenes, but probably one of the standout ones here is they have this like giant like New Orleans style cemetery.
Yeah.
And it is big and it's sprawling. You kind of weave your way in and out of this thing. And it was just really neat. This was probably, even though as cool as it was, this is one of the only parts we really had complaint is, I'm hoping that, if you guys actually watch this, one thing I would recommend is, there's a couple spots that just is like blank wall, just put some like shrubbery or something there, even if it's a painting, but something, because it breaks it when you see the gray wall.
Or gray
I think it was gray,
yeah.
It was just a gray wall, like, or just even if it's just some plants or like some vines, just to sell the vibe of the place a little bit more, because everything else in like the cemetery itself, like all the stuff they have built is really cool. I just want it needs to be filled out just a little bit more, just a little more detailing in that scene to really sell that, because that was the only scene that I've like noticeably saw something that I was like, oh, that's lacking a little bit there. But overall, sets and props were amazing. Another fun thing that they do is they have like movie stuff to look for. Yeah.
I only saw one thing, because I was so engrossed in looking at everything else, I kind of forgot about the movie thing until I saw this one thing, and it was the ventriloquist dummy from the Goosebumps movie.
Yeah.
And I saw him in a cabinet, and I was like, oh yeah, we were supposed to look for movie stuff, and then I totally forgot about it the rest of the time, too. I'm like, oh yeah, that was it. But they do have like a little thing. You don't get any prizes or anything, but they have a movie scavenger hunt, and they do have a list of what you should have seen at the end of the haunt. I guess somewhere. I didn't see it, but they said that there was one somewhere.
Oh yeah, I didn't see it either. I kind of forgot to look for, because I even forgot about them. Even though they told us at the beginning, I get engrossed in looking at the scenes and paying attention to the detail, especially, I mean, not only do I want to do that anyways, but if we're trying to do a review, I like to actually look at that stuff and talk about things that I liked and things that I think they improved in. But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. Anyways, though, we'll get along with it. Sets and props, we gave a 9.52. Like I said, very good. I just want hopefully they detail out the cemetery set a little bit more.
Yeah.
So next, we will get into the actors. Now, again, this is a special event, so
not a lot of them.
Not a ton. I mean, I felt like there was a good amount for a special event. There's a lot of queue line actors.
A lot of queue line
I
actors.
kind of think that, and there wasn't that many in the queue. Like, we got VIP passes, but there was nobody in line in either. When we went there, I'm like, well, that was a waste of money, but it wasn't. It was like $7 more, so whatever. Help support them. I don't really care. But I just thought it was funny. We bought VIP passes, and we're like, oh, well, we didn't need these. But we also got there kind of early because we didn't have anything else to do. But, they did what, if you watch our reviews a lot, and when we talk about Ghoul Brothers, how they have, like, these, like, a lot of actors have multi-point scares where they, like, design
they make
sets.
They make the maze so that, like, you switch back, like, to another area so that, like, a ghoul that you saw here can scare you over here, even though you've gone through other scenes. He can be right over here and he can scare you again, which I think is very innovative, and it does, like, help with, you know, if you don't have a lot of actors, you can use one to scare numerous times.
And it's just smart design, and obviously a lot of haunts do this, but these haunts do it more so. Like, they really design it so there's, like, multiple ways, not just, like, two, but, like, multiple ways they can kind of get you.
Because he got us, like, that one got us, like, 4 separate times, I think.
Yeah. I like how they, you know, there was good focus on, there's only the 2 of us that went this time, but there's good focus on me and you. It wasn't, like, always front person, you know, they kind of...
Yes, they did really good with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that had dialogue, a lot of people that did interact with us and stuff, not just, like, boo and done. Like, people would follow us and talk to us. The one queue line actor is, like, telling us a story, about, like, New Orleans and, like, the swamps and that. The snake lady, she had a lot of dialogue. She was good. Like I said, even, like, the improvised stuff, like when they're kind of following us around and things like that.
One of the queue actors followed me into the line, actually inside the building, because he was outside and he, like, followed us in. And he kept playing with my hair. And he asked me if I ever burned my hair, which I thought was weird, but okay.
Right, yeah.
I told him, yeah, I have, you know, and he's like, have you ever burned it back?
Like, whatever that means, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
it was weird, but it was strange, because, he was playing with my hair and, like, smelling it, and it was really weird, but I was like, okay, whatever, you do you.
Oh, another one, because they have this really gross, and I think I've seen it maybe other places. I don't know if I've seen it other places. It's, I just have it in my notes, it's gross skin guy. I don't...
I remember seeing it at,
I remember seeing it...
Haunters.
Oh. Yeah, I remember seeing it. The only haunt I truly remember seeing it is at Carnage at their old location.
Yeah.
Actually seeing it in use.
It's this big piece of skin that is stretched out, and there's, like, a face, and there's some organs and stuff like that as well.
It was a beating heart. The heart beats, but the face is actually, like, a person.
And, well, the face, it's a mask, and you put your face into it, and then you can move it around. Yeah. So you think it's just this skin, and then they go, ah, and it's like, oh god, it's a living skin.
Yeah, it's really creepy. It's one of the more grotesque props that they have. Because overall, I don't think there's a lot of gore, but we'll get more of that in a minute. But actors overall are pretty good. We wish there was a little bit more of them. And, you know, I'm sure as, like, things progress and, you know, they actually open for the season, people will be a little more aggressive and stuff like that, and the dialogue will improve a little bit more and stuff like that. But overall, everyone there did really great. What I could tell from the costuming, most people that I remember were really good. The costuming was, there might have been one or two that wasn't, like, the most great thing ever, but overall it was really good, and we gave actors a 9. Good job to the actors. Moving right along, we'll talk about scare factor. How scary do we think it is? How scary do we think it is? There's lots of misdirection type of scares here. There's a lot of really good hiding places. You know, there's just so much to look at that it's really easy to get got. And most of the time, I felt like they were coming out of places that I didn't necessarily expect them to come out of.
That always terrifies me, is when we're walking through and you're trying to look at everything and you're like so engrossed in stuff, and they just come out of like a random hole in somewhere, and you're just like, okay, like, good job, because I didn't know you were gonna come there. And it was
Right.
like, there was actually one that was like that skull guy. We didn't know he was gonna be there, and I'm looking down low, you're looking up high, and it came from inside a case. We'll just give you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. That was a really good one, and because it just looks like a prop, but it's not a prop. And there's a few things like that in there that you really think are just kind of like a normal thing. And like, even though you go to a haunted house, even if you go to the haunted houses a lot, you kind of expect that. But it was pretty good to the point where like I couldn't tell. So I'm like, I don't think that is, and then you know what happens. So yeah, that was cool. They don't really touch you here, I guess, but they did touch her hair in the queue, but then no one touches throughout the haunt.
Yeah.
So you're told, don't touch the actors, and they won't touch you. I'd like it if they did touch better, really, but, I don't know, that's kind of weird. And it's kind of strange how, like, certain, like, cities and stuff, like, they're not allowed to do that, which is odd to me. But I just always prefer it when there's like, not like rough housing necessarily, but like just light touching. It's just something's freakier, like the guy that was under the boat, if he just was allowed to like touch our ankles.
Yeah, if he had grabbed my ankles, I would have been fine with that. Right. Because that would have just scared the crap out of me. Yeah,
just a little grab. Yeah. And I just think that it just adds something. It adds something freakier to know that they can completely break the boundary. Just even if it's just a light touch. That's something to consider. If that's something that they're even allowed to do, I don't know. Yeah. I have one thing I will say about this place is there wasn't an abundance of air cannons, which I like. Air cannons are so cheap, but there was one, and I have it in my notes, says the air cannon that tries to kill you. You just walk down, it's this really strong air cannon that just boom. I mean, my God. But but it did get me, and I'm glad that they didn't use them a lot. Like, there's only, I think, 2. There's one that's part of that, like, painting, like, but that's more of a spray of water, I think. Yeah. This is the only real air cannon.
That was the only real air cannon, was that
got us, at
that
least.
Got us, yeah.
Because I think air cannons, like, they can be effective, and they always scare me, but I think they're cheap. I don't know. They are effective, though.
It's effective, yeah.
And I do feel like, as we said about sets and props, the place has a very creepy atmosphere. Just overall, just like there wasn't much music, but there's a lot of, because we were talking about this, there wasn't much music, but there's a lot of like ambient sounds and stuff like that. I really like the sound design of this place, and not just stupid, like, I shouldn't say stupid, but like I get tired of hearing like Midnight Syndicate or like that kind of thing being played at haunts all the time, and it's just like...
Yeah, like there's certain ones that get played a lot. And yes, I realize they are really good, but it's like...
Right.
It gets old after a while.
It does get old after a while. So it's nice. It's just that...
Yeah, if you like are humming it while you're walking through the haunted house, it's kind of lost its glimmer.
Exactly. So it's nice that this was more designed around just the ambiance of like and of that music, and just more fitting to the theme. It says more atmospheric sounds instead of music.
Crickets and things
or like because
that.
I think there was like music box music in the dollhouse. I think excuse me,
so.
But scare factor we gave a 9.
Yep.
Decently scary. A fair amount of gore, not a lot. But it is more of like a grown-up, haunted house where like things are very realistic looking, a heavy dreaded atmosphere. There's a lot of scenes that might kind of make you feel a little bit freaked out, but they're not gonna, like I said, they're not like gonna touch you and grab you much here at all. At least they didn't for this. So now we're going to get to one. This one's a little bit difficult to rate for the value, because again, this was more of a special thing. Now, I stated at the beginning, but for the fall season, so September, October, whatever, there's going to be a second haunt, and it's supposed to be, I guess, about as big, if not as big, as the one we went through.
Yeah.
And it's going to be asylum themed, I think they said.
Yeah, they said an asylum.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of asylum themes, but I've seen them done really well before, and I think these guys will do it really well. And then we were told that there should be a third one in 2022, so there'll be 3 haunts there. So that'll be cool. I don't know what that theme will be, but I think that would be really awesome to go back and see what the asylum is. But as of now, we're just going to, again, if you're watching this, to decide to go in the fall or not, I'd recommend that you go, but we're just going to, we're going to judge the value off of what it was for this. I don't know what the value will be for the actual season. So it took us about 13 minutes to get through this haunted house. There really wasn't any dead space, so that 13 minutes was just pure haunted house, not like switchbacks of dark rooms, just like pure, and no mazes or anything like that, So, no dead space at all. It was $20 for a normal ticket or $27 for the VIP. which I think that is pretty decent value.
It's
I would
very
like it to,
decent.
like, if this is the price that it is plus the second haunted house, I think that it would be really, really good value.
Mm-hmm.
For $20 for something that's the 10 to 13 minute range. We gave it an 8.5 for that. But yeah, if it's still $20, or even if they just raise it to $25.
Yeah, I was gonna say 25 still would be really
still
good.
would be really good.
Yeah.
And if it's two haunted houses and they're both this length, then I think that would be like a 9.5.
Yeah.
But for 20 for a shorter house, 8.5, I mean, it's still good value. I still highly recommend going. It's just not outstanding value because length, but it's no filler. So, I mean, I'd rather have a 13-minute haunted house than a 30-minute haunted house that has tons of switchbacks just to tell you that it's longer.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring us to overall score. We gave it a 9. That's kind of the average there. Yeah, overall, I was very impressed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they used the new location well, and it must be a lot bigger, especially if they're planning on adding 2 more full-size haunted houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of detail in this place. One thing I hope that they eventually add is they make the queue, like the opening, a little bit more. Because right now, the queue leaves something to be desired, because you don't think the haunt's going to be as good. Like, if I were to walk in that and not have seen Carnage before, I'd be like, you know.
The queue looked like you walked into a bowling alley.
Well, yeah, I mean, the floor's still there, and I mean, I kind of expected that, but there's no facades, really. There's no nothing. So I would like to see, I mean, maybe not even this year, but in the years to come, something add a little there to add to the atmosphere while you're in there. I mean, that's, you know, I'm not really taking that into affecting the score, but I just...
They did have a really cool thing at the end of the haunt, because they're going to have a queue line in between the 2 haunted houses. And they actually had it set up so it looked like a New Orleans street.
Yeah, that was super cool.
And they had like little shops and stuff like that. Like there was a barber shop and I think a butcher shop and some other like little New Orleans buildings and stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. And
it was super cool, yeah.
If they expanded that a little bit more into the main queue area, that would be really cool. Like maybe incorporate all of the different haunts and put it, you know, into that front area. That would be really good.
Yeah, that would be great. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully that is a thing that happens. But yeah, I mean, do you guys have interest in going here? Like I said, if you're watching this, it's this little event's, you know, already done. We love going to the special things to get a little taste of the fall. We're getting close to fall. It's July now, so only a couple months left. So, you know, definitely comment below. Let us know what you thought of this haunted house in the past. If you're watching this in the future from when we are now, you know, let us know what you thought of it this year. And, you know, eventually, you know, keep our eye on the channel, because in the fall we will be going back and all these other places in Columbus. So if you're interested in this place, make sure you keep an eye out for the other videos that we'll be doing. We've done videos on Hoochie and all that in the past too, so if you're curious of that, that's on the channel. We also do a lot more now, so if you're just only watching this for haunt talk and you think that's all we do and that's the only reason you come back to the channel, we also have a podcast, Creeps, Creatures, and Haunts, where we where we talk about that stuff, creeps, creatures, and haunts. We do food reviews and stuff if you're interested in that. We also go to real haunted places and film and ghost hunt and, you know, do footage of that and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, make sure to check that crap out. Like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.